Good morning, everyone. Wanted to give you an update on the Corporate Transparency Act and the situation, since this seems to be changing by the day. I don't know what is going on in the Fifth Circuit, but it's crazy right now, and it's definitely put our case in a difficult spot. So, as of this morning, the 30th, you do not need to file your beneficial owner information for the Corporate Transparency Act. The injunction was put back into place. I'm going to give you the background just so you understand why this seems so crazy, but this is a situation potentially evolving by the day. It could change today. I don't know. Very unlikely tomorrow or the next day, since those are federal holidays. But again, this went flip-flopped over the Christmas week. So here's what happened. Earlier in December, in a district court in Texas, a judge granted a nationwide preliminary injunction, which covered us all. The federal government requested a stay on that injunction, and that was denied in the Fifth Circuit Court. There was nothing scheduled. So, by most schedules, that would mean that that's 4 to 6 months out ish. It depends, but the rough idea, it's reasonable to believe that this would have been several months out before this injunction was going to be, the appeal to the injunction was going to be considered. So on the 19th, our case went before the district court here in Utah, and the judge was reluctant, first of all, due to the fact that there's already a nationwide injunction in place and there was no hearing scheduled to overturn that injunction. She was reluctant to move forward with our injunction under the idea that she wanted to see how the political situation shook out. There's a new presidential administration coming in, and even the Department of Justice agreed that this new administration may just completely change how they're handling these cases. So she wanted to delay that. Now, my personal opinion is I wanted to move forward with our own injunction because ours is based on different grounds. And we even mentioned, I mentioned this to our attorney, and Austin totally agreed, and that was that the original injunction is based on 10th Amendment grounds, and those are notoriously shaky in the federal courts. I'm not saying the 10th Amendment should be shaky. I'm just saying they are. That's the situation on the ground as it stands. And so the likelihood of a circuit court of appeals overturning something on 10th Amendment grounds is a lot higher than on other grounds, like our grounds, which are primarily First Amendment grounds. But that's neither here nor there. The judge wanted to delay things on our case until these things shook out, and we agreed to a 90-day stay subject to immediate change if the situation changed on the ground. So that was on the 19th. Then the very next day, the Department of Justice, after our case was put on a stay, put in a request in the Fifth Circuit Court. Now, maybe it was coordinated, maybe it wasn't. My inclination is the timing's just way too convenient. But in the Fifth Circuit Court, they put in, once again, to appeal this injunction. That was on a Friday. So our hearing was on Thursday. This is on Friday. And on Monday, they got that hearing. Now, let me tell you, I've never heard of anybody that's not the government getting a federal court to meet with them in 2 days, unless there's like a life or death type of situation. That was an incredible turnaround. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it's very fast turnaround, especially considering the fact that Monday is the Monday before Christmas Eve. So they get a hearing on Monday, schedule it after our case put on stay, because if that hearing had been scheduled, we would have moved forward with the judge. But because nothing was scheduled, the judge had reason to believe that nothing was going to happen in the next 90 days. So in that hearing, they overturned the injunction, and that's where all of a sudden it's back in effect. And for up through Christmas Day, it was possible that this was just going to be enforced January 1st. Then after Christmas Day, the federal government came out and said, well, we're going to put a delay on it till the 13th because nobody would even know that this has been overturned right now, right? So then the Fifth Circuit case goes and appeals that, and they get another group of Fifth Circuit judges, and they put the injunction back in place, and that's where we're sitting today. We, during that Monday, our own case, we filed another motion with our judge and said, hey, this injunction has been overturned. We need an emergency meeting because we weren't able to, like, we need something in place. None of our people have anything in place. The federal court, the Department of Justice wouldn't agree to specific terms that we had tried to set forward, and they were going to sort that out over 90 days. Now we don't have that as an option. So that request is in. Now that the injunction is back in place, what I'm hoping is that our judge will see that whatever the heck is going on in the Fifth Circuit Court cannot be relied upon. It's crazy down there. So what we're going to ask for is to move forward with our own hearing and get our own injunction on separate grounds. Now, the 10th Amendment is still part of that because it is a 10th Amendment overreach, but our primary claims are on right of association and freedom of speech, First Amendment grounds. First Amendment grounds have a much stronger case history in the American justice system. And what we would like to do is get that injunction in place so that the Fifth Circuit can go ballistic, do whatever they want, but now there's another injunction in place that says, hey, just because you overturned it on 10th Amendment grounds doesn't mean you can overturn this other nationwide injunction because that's on First Amendment grounds. And that would be done in the 10th Circuit instead of the 5th. So that's what I'm hoping the judge will let us do. I don't know what her mind is, but I wanted to give you an update. As it stands, you do not need to file. So don't stress out about it. If it suddenly changes today, I will give another update before the end of the day. Thanks.